Tanta University. This place, or I mean the faculty itself and the university is very special for me because this is actually the place I graduated in. I graduated in the Faculty of Arts, the English department, the year 1996. And it is actually my great honor to be back here again, sitting beside the professors to whom I owe a lot of, acknowledgement. They have been my mentors, and they are still my mentors.
They used to be.
No, we cannot. So it's actually a great honor to be here. And among the audience, of course, Professor Hani Helmi, and of course, Dr. Rashad, and my dear colleague, Dalia Bakr here. We are actually very honored to be here. Of course, Dr. Sabri Shaisha and Dr. Mu'taz, it's our great honor to be here with you today. Now, I'm going to examine the candidate. My discussion is going to be divided into two parts. The first part has to do with the MLA style of writing, and the second part has to do with the theoretical framework of the thesis itself. First of all, let me congratulate you on the choice of the title. I like the title very well, all right, it's very good. You are actually dealing with two concepts here, two ideologies. You are dealing with feminism, as you are dealing with post-colonialism. This is very good. And your choice is also excellent because you choose two novels written by two writers who belong to two parts of the third world. Of course, we have here Khaled Hosseini from Afghanistan, and we have Adichie from Nigeria.
Yes.
And you are actually dealing with the concept of post-colonialism, but from the perspective of feminism, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, very good. Now let us start with the first part, the part of the MLA style. I'd like you to have a look here at the title page, your thesis title page. Can you please read the title?
Post-colonial feminism in Khaled Hosseini's novel, A Thousand Splendid Suns, and Chimamanda Adichie's novel, Purple Hibiscus.
Very good, okay. Now, something that has to do with the titles, that they should be concise and precise. We are actually dealing with the two, the word novel is repeated twice here in the title, all right? So you have Khaled Hosseini's novel, then you repeated the same thing again with the novel here, right? So for the purpose of conciseness, I think that you could just set in feminism in Khaled Hosseini's A Thousand Splendid Suns and Chimamanda Adichie's Purple Hibiscus, right? Okay. Because these are actually well-known titles. They are the titles of novels. Now, please move to the following line: a thesis submitted in fulfillment.
Requirement.
Now look at the word requirement here. We have here what? R in small. All right.
Oh yes.
All right. But these are, this is one of the things that I've noticed going throughout the thesis itself. Because once you have a heading or a title, of course, the first letters should be capitalized all the way. Now, it's a great thing that you, we have the dedication, the acknowledgement, fine, everything is fine here. Now, I'd like you to go to, yes. Now, the formatting of the page itself, according to the MLA style, you have the page number. Where did you put the page number?
At the bottom of the page.
Okay, according to the MLA style, the page number, you should have the family name of the researcher, right? This is your name. Okay. And the number of the page at the top right part of the page, all right? Okay. This is according to MLA style. Now, I would like you to have a look at page number 2. P? All right, so, okay, thank you. Now, page number 2 in the first paragraph here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have here accordingly the Oxford English Dictionary, all right?
Yes.
All right. Now, once you are quoting from a dictionary, it is something that you should do to tell us which version, I mean, what is the year of publication.
Okay.
And you did so on page number 26. Go to page number 26, please. You are trying to define the term post-colonialism, and you did so on page number 26. So you mentioned here under the title of feminism, we have 6 lines. The Oxford Dictionary, 2000. Now,
that was the version.
So
Yes.
now you are mentioning the year of publication. All right. Okay. Now page number 23. I'm just reminding you that we are starting with the MLA style. This is the first part of the discussion. Now on page number 23, you have, can you please count 4 lines? All right. Yeah, that's it. Yes, the quotation.
Church speak suppositions of the male as normative without it's anti-female politics.
Okay, great. Now we have here a quotation that starts with the word masculinism, and it runs something like 7 lines. All right. So again, with lengthy quotations, more than 4 lines,
Yes. Okay.
we do what?
We have to put it in
We indent the quotation. We
Yes.
indent the
Yes.
quotation. All right. So you need to pay attention to this. Now on page number 35, go to page number 35, please. We have here an indented quotation that starts with post-colonial feminism cannot, all right, cannot be regarded as
women, thus enhancing resentment from feminists in the following nations. This is
no, page number 35. 35. All right?
35.
Yes, okay. Now, between brackets, at the end of the quotation, you say quoted in, all right?
Yes.
All right. Now, this comes from an anthology. An anthology is a book, a collection of essays, all right? Why didn't you give us the name of the author? I mean, the article's writer.
I can't reach the main resource.
How come?
It's counted from an article, and I can't get the main resource, the main book.
You mean that you take it online, or I mean you just quote it from online source?
Yes.
Okay, so if it is quoted from an online source, you need to tell so, because again, between brackets, I mean, if you are quoting from an anthology, we actually do not quote or actually cite in this way, all right? So you need to pay attention to this again. Now, page number, by the way, Iman, I'm just, telling you these remarks because your work is
I
good.
appreciate your comments, Dr.
Your work is great, all right?
Okay.
And we want
Thank
you
you
to be a better scholar.
Okay.
This is for the purpose of academic, integrity and so on. Now, page number 45, please. No, let's start with 43 first. Right in the middle of the page.
John Freeman?
Well, I have here a quotation again But I have here a problem because you have here the link.
Yes, the link of the site.
We do not do so. We do not do so, right? We do not do so. So you need to make sure, again, and this is repeated, you need to count something like 8 lines again. We have here www, all right? It is the HTTP, all right? You have the whole link, all right, spelled out and written between brackets, all right? But we just, tell what's the name of the author. We can say the title of the article, all right? If there is a page number, we include the page number and so on. But we do not put the whole, link just like that, all right?
Okay.
All right. Now, page number 55. Page number 55. All right. Now, when we are writing, whether we are writing in Arabic or English, of course, we write in paragraphs.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Only paragraph, we have to divide it.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Why do we divide the paragraphs? Can you tell me? Why do we have...
To separate ideas in order not to confuse the readers.
Excellent.
To make the information so easy.
That's it. Excellent.
To attract the attention of the readers.
Great. So you need to do what? You need to discuss each separate idea in a single paragraph.
Okay,
right?
I appreciate your comment.
All right. So if you look here, you have page number 55. You start your paragraph with, traditionally, all right?
Yes.
Now, we count 55, 56, 57, all right? And it ends on page number 58. So we cannot have a paragraph that runs 4 pages, all right? So you need to do what? You need to, to separate.
Okay.
Discuss each single idea in a separate paragraph, all right? Now, page number 64. Go to page number 64. All right. We have here at the top of the page a paragraph that starts at the end of line number 1. Layla's teacher, she, all right?
No, I can't get it.
Page number 64.
Okay.
All right, 64.
Yes.
All right. At the end of line number 1, you have here a quotation that starts with she. She said women and men were equal in every way. All right. And it goes on and on and on. All right. So this is more than 4 lines. All right. When we skip 3 lines again, and this starts with, in fact, baby thought that one thing that the communists, all right, this is actually something that you need to pay attention to. When we have more than 4 printed lines, you need to do what? You need to indent them. Okay? Now, I want you to go to page number 74. All of these remarks have to do with the writing style. On page number 74, please count 3 lines. And you have here a quotation that starts with
and you,
all right? For the purpose of consistency, for the purpose of symmetry, for the purpose of having a sentence running on without any prickage, when you have a capital letter like this, and it is actually something that you quote from the original text, all you need to do, all right, is to put it between square brackets. All right. So once you have a capital letter, what you need to do is just put it in square brackets. All right, because you need to keep the consistency and the fluency of the sentence. Now, page number 77. Okay. Now, I have here at the end of the page a paragraph that starts with children's marriage. All right. Okay. So we have here the bottom before the last, between square brackets, we have quoted in early marriage of Afghanistan, and of course you can see the word marriage here with a small m, all right, with headings, with titles, all right. All you need to do is just to capitalize the first letter, all right. Now I have another problem here. Where is the name of the author?
I can't understand the question. Can you repeat it again?
You are now quoting or you are paraphrasing, isn't that all right? So you need to acknowledge the source of the information. You need to say where you brought the information, whose words are these. So I don't have the name of the author here. Whose words are these?
I see according to the UNICEF.
According to the UNICEF, all right.
Yes, UNICEF.
Who is in the UNICEF?
It's an organization.
I know the organization, of course, everybody knows. But I'm asking who is the one who wrote this, this article? Who is the one who?
The publisher was the organization itself. We don't have author.
All right. So if you go to page number 217 and the work cited at the end of your thesis. We have, right,
200?
Yes, 217. You have here, right in the middle of the page. All right. This is actually Nalo, comma, P, right? Then you have here the title, Child Marriage in Afghanistan. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right. So you have here the name of the author.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So this again has to do with what? All of these remarks has to do with the writing style.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to leave you my copy, all right? So you make all the corrections and so on. Now I want you to go to page number 95. 95. All right. Now, the paragraph that starts with she.
Yes.
Okay, I want you to read it and read it slow. Go slow. Read it, please.
Okay. She won many awards. The Commonwealth Writers' Prize and the Hearthstone Wright Legacy Award for the first novel, Purple Hibiscus, The Orange Brood.
Okay,
and
let me ask you to stop, all right? So, in the first line we have she. In the second line we have her, right? And in the following line we have her again. In the following line we have her again. Skip 2 lines and then we have what? Her again, all right. So again, this has to do with the writing style because you have to keep that consistency between the noun and the pronoun.
Okay.
All right, so you start this paragraph with she. Couldn't you just write a did she?
Yes.
So I understand you. Who is the?
I appreciate your comment.
Thank you. All right. Now page number 135. On page number 135, we have here, a quotation. This is an intended quotation. It starts with a did she, all right. Now, I have here a little problem that the quotation starts with inverted commas. All right?
Okay.
Once you have an intended quotation, you do not use inverted commas because this is actually, you know why we use the inverted commas?
No.
All right. This is to show, to expose, to say that this is a quotation, to mark it off, to show that this is something that it is not actually your own word. These are not your own words. That's why you put it between inverted commas. So once you have indented the quotation, it is quite, showing. It's there, right? So we do not use inverted commas when we have an indented quotation like this. Now, I want you to count something like 6 lines, all right? The writer or the source here comes from somebody whose name is Chambers, all right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now, between inverted commas, you've just wrote Chambers also adds.
Yes.
Good. Now, we have here at the end of the quotation, between brackets, all right? Do we have to say the first name and the last name?
Chambers.
You have here.
It's his last name. Chambers.
No, we have here Lorraine Chambers.
Yes.
So we just say the family name is enough, all right?
Okay.
This is number 1. Number 2, we have here a quotation that extends from page number 99, all right, to
106.
How come? You can just, have a quotation that if you have an ellipsis, if you have something that, a quotation that is taken from 2 consecutive pages,
I find
2 following pages.
My idea. It completes my idea. It gives me to make the idea clear.
I know. The purpose of using quotations, of course, is to support, to show, to support your idea or to give, enough explanation or elaboration to the idea. This is fine. But when we are quoting, we can just do this ellipsis when we have 2 following pages. Like 9 and 10, 8 and 7 and 8. But you have here 99 and 106. This is actually way too much, all right?
Even if they have the same idea?
Well, the solution is to do what? Instead of breaking the quotation, just like you said, and put it between square brackets, Chambers also adds, all you need to do is to do what? To have enough of the first quotation, the first part of the quotation, and you end it, and you say Chambers 99, then you add some commentary of your own, some explanation of your own, and you start another, quotation. Okay, now page number 148. 148. This is a very, simple little thing. We are not going to take long. All right, now the last two lines.
The heroines?
And then I want you to start from another aspect.
Similarity between the 2 novels lies in the end of the 2 selected novels, as the 2 authors choose the same end.
No, just wait. The 2 authors chooses. So we have here, the subject-verb, matching. Again, this is another thing that has to do with the grammar, right? Of course, proofreading your thesis is going to make this better thing. Now, enough of this silly thing, all right? Because the MLA style or keeping this writing style is one of the rudiments of writing any academic thesis. I'm not going to take long discussing this. I'm going now to move to the theoretical part, right? This is the fun part. Now, I want you to go back to the first chapter. The first chapter here is dealing with, what's the title? Yes, chapter 1, Theoretical Framework. Good. Okay. Now, It's actually a very wise thing. It is a very logical thing to start your academic thesis by discussing the theoretical framework of two huge, ideologies like, post-colonialism and feminism. This is a very good thing. Okay. Now, what I see here, when you are dealing with post-colonialism, you are just giving us, kind of short notes or synopsis. You are just moving from Edward Said to Spivak to, the other writers, and this is very good. You are explaining the
history of the term.
Okay, this is very good. Okay, but in the first chapter, I cannot see your own application of all of these theoretical, ideas.
Is post-colonialism?
That's it, right? You did not mention the two authors. You did not mention the novels. Apply the ideas on the two writers' novels, and you should tell us why you are applying them. Because this is after all, this is your own hypothesis. دي الفرضية بتاعتك, right? So it is not like you are telling us there used to live a man whose name was Edward Said, another somebody whose name was Spivak, somebody whose name is such and such, right? Now, how are you going to make use of those, writers and their works in dealing with the ideas?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Can you defend this? Can you?
At the end, at the third chapters, I try to link between Fanon's theory about the effect of colonizers on the colonized people in Adish's novel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Through the characters of his journey.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but the thing is, it is just a remark, something that you need to take it into consideration. That because this is actually a kind of a theoretical, introduction to the thesis itself. You need to tell us what is the hypothesis, all right? Why you choose these two novels? Why you choose these two writers? Because after all, this is an introduction, all right? So
I think it's available at the last chapters.
So what is the purpose of the introduction?
Okay.
When we are introducing an idea, all right, we need to tell that the thesis has the hypothesis or has the idea, or it suggests the idea that, and we are going to apply such and such and so on, because after all, this is the introduction, isn't it?
Okay.
All right. Okay. No. Just take these remarks into consideration for your further academic, research. We need you to be, you are a good researcher, but we need you to be, a better researcher in the future, inshallah. Okay, now, page number 38. Page number 38. You are dealing here with a number of writers who dealt with the idea of feminism, all right? And you are dealing with the concept of women's rights, sexism and the subjugation of women, all right? But there is one of the great writers that you did not mention in this introduction, although her writings are very important when we deal with feminism. Of course, the writer is Simone de Beauvoir, all right? The second sex, all right? Le deuxième sexe. You did not actually deal with this writer. Can you tell us why? Or you did not include her? Simone de Beauvoir.
She is one of the feminist critics.
Yes, one of the great feminist critics, all right? And you should have actually mentioned her work, especially because she deals with the ideology or the concept of women fighting to gain their rights, fighting against patriarchal, societies, fighting against the concept of patriarchy, fighting to gain their own rights.
Yes.
And the two novels that you are studying here are precisely dealing with this idea. So a quotation or two just to support your idea, then this is just, a recommendation. This is just a something that I suggest, all right? Okay. Now, I want you to, yes, page number 45. Okay. Now, just look at the quotation in the middle of the page here. All right. Well, this looks fine with me. I mean, this quotation is ideal. All right, because you started just before it. All right. We have here the name of the author. Right at the beginning of the sentence. Then you have here the title of the book. Fine, this is great, all right. Then you have here an introductory word indicates that. Then we have the quotation. Then we have here at the end of the quotation, we have between brackets the page number. This is perfect.
Yes.
This is great, perfect, all right. Okay. Now I want you to have a look here at the paragraph right under the quotation that starts with as a result of such location. Yes. Can you read, please?
Okay. As a result of such locations as well as conflicts surrounding the regions, Afghanistan is classified as a third world country. Its geographical distributions, indeed, its prosperity, and it doesn't become independent because of tradition and tribal influence.
Okay. Now I have a little, question to ask here. You are telling us that Afghanistan is classified as a third world country.
Yes.
Right. I have nothing against this. Its geographical distribution impedes its prosperity. This is something that I cannot, agree with. I mean, like a country, right?
That it affects its economy and turning it into a poor country.
The location of a country affects this country and deems it a third world country, or this has to do with,
It may be one of the factors, but it's not the main factor.
Okay. So we learn from this what do we learn? We learn that we do not generalize.
Yes.
We learn that we do not generalize.
Not all the third world countries.
That's it. All right. Okay. Because some countries are very lucky with their, geographical location.
Yes.
Some countries are, great countries, just like Japan, for instance. And Japan is just, a group of islands.
Yes.
Nothing more.
That's right.
All right. So do not generalize.
Yes.
All right. Now, page number 113. Now we are dealing with the novel, The Purple Hibiscus, written by Edici. And of course you are dealing here with a Nigerian culture.
Yes.
They are not Muslims, are they?
Yeah.
I mean the characters in the novel.
The characters, they are
Christians,
yes.
Right? Okay. So, now right in the middle of the page, all right, can you locate the word, don't you see at the J75, all right? Right in the middle of the page?
Yes.
All right. And then the line, following it, in another example, when her father asks Allah in his prayers, all right?
Yes.
What do you think? Should we use words like Allah, I mean our own understanding of, or our own religious belief, to impose it on the reader of?
It may be in our religion, but according to the.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just asking.
Okay.
All right. I mean, like you are writing the thesis in English, right?
Yes.
Of course, the audience are whatever the audience are, right? So you are dealing with praying to Allah and other words that relate to your own religious belief. Should we do this? I mean, or should we should be aware of the audience? I'm just asking, you know, can you explain? I'm just asking. والله ده سؤال بريء والله. I'm just asking. All right. I'm just asking. طيب. Another thing that has to do with the African, the Nigerian culture, we have here something that has to do with the terms, the words that come from Afghanistan, words that come from Nigeria. A lot of these words, you are just using them in a very simplistic, naturalistic way. You are just using them, all right? So the reader is not aware of the meaning of these, you know, terms and words. I recommend that you have something like an appendix, an attachment, an appendix, all right, in which you explain the meaning of these words. Another thing is the footnotes.
You can understand the meaning of these words from the words which follow it.
There are some words that belong to the...
I think that the readers may understand the meaning of this word from the structures itself, from the general meaning.
I don't think so, because some words, I mean, if I'm reading something written by a Jewish American writer, for instance.
The writer uses Hebrew languages, but it can translate it or give the readers its meaning from the structure itself. You can understand it, it's not difficult.
So I think that this is your own role as a researcher, an academic researcher, to make it clear to the reader or to the researchers who are going to read your thesis later on, to benefit from your own academic research, to understand the meaning of these words,
yes,
whether they come from the Nigerian culture or the Afghan culture, right? So you do not just leave the reader wondering what's the meaning of these words. These are foreign words.
About such point at the last chapters, when I was speaking about the style of the two writers.
Yes, all right.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, but you just need to give us the meaning of these words. You're just using words that belong, and I think you are actually telling us that in the last chapter here, you are telling us there are words that belong to the cultures, the Afghan culture and the
yes,
African culture, but you do not explain the meaning of these words. Sometimes I was wondering what's the meaning of this word and that
we
word.
We don't know its exact meaning. We try to guess it.
I don't think so. It would be a better thing that you explain or to give the meaning of these words. All right. Now, page number something else. Once you have a foreign term or a foreign word, it is better to write it in italics. All right? This is again something that has to do with the MLA style. Any foreign word that do not come from English is italicized.
Okay.
All right? Okay. Now, page number 121, 121. In this part, you are dealing with. I mean, in the first paragraph here, you are telling us something about the post-colonial theorists that you mentioned in the first part of your thesis, all right? But again, I cannot see you quoting these great writers. You do not use any quotation from their works.
Because I explained the idea in details in the first chapter.
But the idea here has to do, the title of your thesis is Post-Colonial Feminism in.
Yes.
So this suggests that you have the hypothesis, al-fardiyya. You suggest that you can apply a kind of reading, an academic, investigation of post-colonial feminism. So the logical thing is that you are going to support your own idea using quotations from this theoretical background. I just, waited for you to quote from any of the post-colonial writers that you have mentioned in the first chapter, right? Okay. So this is something that you need to pay attention to, because this is actually something that has to do a lot with academic research. We suggest an idea, then we try to support that idea. Yes, you are giving us your own first impression. You are explaining.
About mimicry, there is accounts about mimicry emerges as one of the most effective strategies. This is account.
That comes from? That comes? Great, okay. In fact, you are mentioning famine later on, all right? But I cannot see, this is one of the rare, occasions that you are giving us a direct quotation from one of the writings of these writers, all right? So this is something that you need to pay attention to again, okay? Thank you. Okay. Now, I want you to move to the last chapter. The chapter that you are doing this comparison between the two novels. In the first part of this chapter, of course, you are dealing with the themes, and you are comparing and contrasting between the ideas discussed in the two novels. This is great, all right? Now, after that, you are dealing with the idea of the Bildungsroman, all right?
Yes.
And this goes from page number 171, and you are explaining to us what's the meaning of this term. And it goes on and on from 171 to 175 to 176, all right? And you are telling us about the people who used, all right, or actually dealt with this idea, starting from Charles Dickens and the other writers. But where is the application? The application comes later on, all right, after so many, pages. All right, page number 180. So from 171 to 180, something like 9 pages, and you are dealing with the explanation of the term.
Yes.
But the whole idea, again, with academic research has to do with, showing, suggesting, supporting your own hypothesis, all right? Because this looks like a separate part, a completely separate part of the thesis. No application. The whole idea is support, application. You need to apply, all right? So you just discussed the idea of Bildungsroman, something that has to do with 9 pages or something, and the last part of your discussion, that is something like 1.5 pages, you are just dealing with the application of the idea, or these are just 2 pages. Now, something again that has to do with the use of metaphors, the columns, the italics, all right? This part, again, how does this part support your hypothesis that you can read these two novels from the perspective of post-colonial feminism?
I'm only comparing between the styles of the two authors as a feminist writers.
Last thing I want to say here, we have on page number 210 the heading references. This is supposed to be works cited, not references, all right? And if you look at Adichie, you have here Adichie, then a comma, then C, all right, then N, all right?
Yes.
Or why not Adichie, then you spell out the name?
I'm using PMLA, not MLA.
Okay, you just, yeah, that's it. Professor Sabri actually said so. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now Iman, I'm done, all right?
Okay.
I hope there are no hurt feelings, all right? Your work is okay, okay? I'm just, telling you about these, remarks. I'm just recommending, I'm just suggesting. Your work is fine, all right? I like the thesis, I like the title, I like the idea, all right?
Yes.
But any academic research has its own good things and bad things, and you are, learning to be a better academic researcher. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Al-Kahky, for your thorough and informative and valuable examination of the campaign. And I hope Iman to take part, his comments and remarks into serious consideration and to make necessary corrections. By the way, I forgot to welcome and thank Dr. Hani Helmi for his attendance as a representative of the department. Thanks a lot to Dr. Hani for his attendance. Now I call upon Professor Nabil to examine the candidate.
السلام عليكم. أولاً let me thank Professor Sabri and Professor Mu'taz for inviting me to take part in this viva. Actually, I cannot promise you I'll be as professional and as informative as Professor Kahky, because as you know, my specialty is linguistics. So I'll deal with this work as a product of language. First of all, في الحقيقة الدكتور كحكي حكى حاجات كتير ما لا هقولها، لكن برضه يعني نقول اللي احنا عارفينه. First of all, I have to admit from the very start that you are a hard worker. You are a hard worker.
Thank you.
You worked hard. Your thesis is coherent, well written.
Okay.
However, there are a few howevers, and you always exist,
Okay.
You don't belittle, I'm not trying to evaluate negatively what you're saying. في النضارة بتاعت القراية. لا مؤاخذة يا جماعة. لا لازم، ما ينفعش خلاص من غيرها. لا ما ينفعش. لا مش هينفع. انتوا عايزين تضحكوا عليا عشان ما اعرفش اقول حاجة بقى. إيمان، أول حاجة I taught you during your preliminary year. So how can this be reconciled with a thesis submitted in fulfillment? It should be impartial fulfillment, because you're going to be getting your MA based on two things: a preliminary year and then this thesis, right? So I suggest that you write a thesis submitted in partial fulfillment. As I said, my discussion will be divided into two main issues: global issues and local issues. First of all, your thesis can be neatly divided into a theoretical framework, analysis, although you never mentioned the word analysis, and then a conclusion. this is what you really done. But why did you start right away with theoretical framework? You know why Professor Kahky is justified in telling you there is no relation, glue
Yes.
among the parts of the thesis. If you started with an introductory chapter, basic notions, aim of research,
Yes.
and then you would have stated that your thesis will be divided into a theoretical framework, analysis, and a conclusion. But you started right away on page, the first page you have is theoretical framework.
Yes.
تعرف الضيف اللي يدخل عايز ياكل على طول ما يسلم ويقول له يقعد ولا ايه رايك؟ انت رحت جاي على طول داخله. تاني حاجه انا بقى والله ما انا عارف يعني نعملها ازاي. اصل when you talk about post-colonialism, this triggers the idea of colonialism. So I don't know what you should really start with. انا مش عارف هنا، انا والله بسأل. طب لو بدأنا بالكولونياليزم يوم يجي بعدها بوست كولونياليزم، لكن نبدا بالبوست وبعدين نجيب بعدها انا مش عارف نعمل ايه.
I see that it's divided into two parts. The first,
انا مش عارف والله، انا بقى مش عارف.
colonialism.
انا مش عارف، انا بسال الاساتذه ايه المفروض نعمله بقى في
هو البحث عن بحث اصلا بوست كولونياليزم.
خلاص يعني شايفين
ده اساسا هي
ما فيش مشكله ماشي
بالاهم يعني
خلاص ولا يهمكم
واشتقت منه بقى الدرايف
ولا يهمكم ولا يهمكم ماشي. الكونكلوجن بقى كمان دايما التلامذه بتوعنا they fall in this mistake. الكونكلوجن دي اهم حاجه. احنا بنكتب الكلام ده كله. A conclusion is usually divided into summary and implications. انت عملتي summary لكن ما عملتيش implications خالص. انا عايز اشوف بقى what are the implications of your work? What have we learned? What is the relation between what you have done and other works? You know?
Yes.
أنا شايفك ما عملتيش الحكاية دي. طب let me بقى get into smaller issues. When you refer to Oxford Advanced, Oxford English Dictionary, you should either italicize or underline أو أي حاجة بقى. معايا؟ تاني حاجة, we say John's book on page 3, but we cannot say the first phases of post-colonialism theoretical. You know?
Yes.
يعني ما بنعملهاش كده. وبعدين في صفحة 3 ده دكتور كحكى عمال يتكلم عليها. شفت الباراجراف ماسك من صفحة 3 وواخد صفحة 4 كلها. يعني أنا في سني ده ما أعرفش أكتب باراجراف طويل كده. ورحت جاي بقى داخلة في the idea of power ورحت جاي في التخصص بتاعي بقى. أنا أول واحد كتبت على الباور سنة 94 analysis of the notion of language as power. ولسه جاي عليها citations. لو دخلتي على الريسيرش جيت، لو دخلت على الحساب بتاعي على ريسيرش جيت أو إلسيفير أو على جوجل سكولر هتلاقي البيبر دي عليها citations دلوقتي. عليها 60,000 ريد. وعليها بيقولوا عليها ريد على فكرة مش ريدنج. وعليها citation. فكرة الباور دي بقى عشان تتكلمي عليها it started with Vygotsky. Vygotsky, Luria and Wirch talk about the idea of domination. And they talk about 3 kinds of regulation. بيسموه regulation كان مش domination. Self-regulation, other regulation and object regulation. فدي حاجة موجودة من زمان. رحت انت داخلة فيها على طول داخلة على theoretical framework ورحت جاية داخلة على الباور على طول.
ما بتخبط في الدكتور محمد يا إيمان.
لا 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 ده يا إيمان مهذبة جدا.
كده يا دكتور كده يا إيمان كده إن
ما تبقاش ما بيننا بقى تأمين طول عمرك بقى. فأنت عارفة كمان حاجة تانية سعيد بنتكلم. طب ليه لما سعيد ذكرتينا لازم اتكلم عن الباور. وهي دي أساس برضه نظريته كلها. والدكتور هاني وإدوارد سعيد. أنت عارفة إدوارد سعيد came here and examined
جه هنا
دكتور هاني حلمي.
supervisor.
And he talked about
Supervisor.
two eminent people here, and one of them, he said about one of them that she doesn't know English. One of the remarkable things he said, because there are so many people who are inflated and they don't really know who they are. He said about one of them that she doesn't know English. Okay. Now let us go on page. colonialism بقى أول مرة ذكرتيها في صفحة 5. مش عارف لو أنا بدأت بقى مش هبدأ كده، أنا هبدأ بالكولونياليزم وبقى أنا أقول البوست كولونياليزم. دايما نبدأ. We always start with Aristotle, not because Aristotle said everything, but because you always start or he gives the basis of an argument. معايا؟
Yes.
فلو أنا كنت أعمل كده، بس يعني ما بقولكيش حتى غيريها دلوقتي، تبقى عارف. الحاجة بقى الثانية اللي كان عليها بروفيسور كحكي، إنه كل شوية تقومي جايبة اندنتنج وبعدين كوتيشن مارك. ما دمت أنت عملتيها اندنتد، ما احنا خلاص عرفنا إنها إيه؟ and that's on page 6. دي بقى ماليه الرساله. خدي بالك اصل هلاقي 20 حاله من دي، ما انت اكتر. كان اياها لغايه 3 اسطر، بعدها بقى دلوقتي 4 زودوهم سطر. ماشي؟ برضو انا اعتقادي ان مش مهم نمشي بس المهم نبقى كونسيستنت. مش مشكله، بس لكن انت واخده الاثنين، فعشان خاطري كل بقى ما تلاقي اندنتنج شيل الايه؟ شيل الكوتيشن. معايا؟ بتستخدمي it's also كتير، مثلا page 7 it's also important. Also is not a very good word in scholarly communication. Page 8, the last part. The dismantling of colonialism gave the colonized people the opportunity. Are these your words, Iman? I cannot write like this.
Dismantling means getting rid of.
أنا عارف يا تاني والله. والله أنا أعتقد إن أنا عارف. بس يعني دي مش كلماتك، نفسي ترجعي خدتيها مني وحطيها. مش عيب. ليه بس يعني ما فيهاش أي كلمة. أصل لو دلوقتي I'm not vindictive, I'm not one of those people who like to hurt people. I can just write it on Google، هيطلع إيه؟ أقوم كاتب لك بليجر تبقى مصيبة. فلا بلاش دي. يعني شو انت خدتيها منين؟ برضه قررتي many of post colonialisms مش عارف ايه. بلاش جينيتيف هنا. page 11. Orientalism begins by an introduction. صعب بقى اللي كتب الجملة دي يكتب ده dismantling او مش عارف ايه. انا بس جايبها لك عشان اعرفك ايه؟ يعني صعب قوي. وجينا بقى على سبيفاك and the idea of resistance. Again, power and resistance. وبقى وريتك مرجع انت مش جايباه خالص. اقوله ولا نخليه ما بيننا؟ ايه؟ لقيتيه؟
it's just a mistake.
اصح النار. شوف هو طلع لك كلمه وانا مطلع لك واحده زيها.
Yes.
page 150. انت جايبه مرجع وما حاطاه في البيبليوجرافي. صح؟
Yes.
لقيتيه ولا لا؟
It's just a mistake. It's not 1997. It's 1990.
اوكي. شفتي بقى؟
The date is wrong.
اوكي. ما فيش مشكله. حاضر. Okay, page 17. In her controversial essay, Spivak asked whether people in colonized positions can achieve voice or express about. Express there. صح؟ وفي page 18, page 18, both of سعيد and Spivak. ما نقول على طول سعيد and Spivak. ولا ايه رايك؟ بلاش قصدي. انا عارف ان انتوا بتبقوا مستعجلين، انا عارف وكلنا بنغلط الغلطه دي. بنبقى عايزين نعبر عن داخلنا يعني الفورم دايما بتبقى يعني واقفه قدامنا حائل. وبعدين جايبه فيمينيزم بقى في صفحه 26. انا كنت عايزك تجيب الثيوريتيكال نوشنز دي ورا بعضها ويبقى ده الثيوريتيكال فريم ورك وهكذا. another way to realize، لا بلاش another way، you know. انا عايز امشي بسرعه سهديك بقى رساله وانت تقعد الصحافه فيها الحاجات دي كلها عشان وقت الايه. page 44 first paragraph. Hosseini can achieve this dramatic impact and give his novels a great momentum due to his innate gift. أنا مش عارف يعني شايف إن هو awkward. Okay, page 55. Traditionally, the Afghan society was patriarchal and Afghan women were considered the property of men. The property. في باراجراف صفحة 70 واخد صفحة كلها برضه نفس الكلام اللي البروفيسور أحمد was talking about. الكفر بيج مش هتاخد رقم بس هتعدي، فصفحة 93 هتبقى 94 وهكذا. معايا يا إيمان؟ هتبقى 94. محبش اخد وقت كتير بس في حاجة بقى عايز أقولها لك وعايز أكون صريح فيها يعني. I don't claim to be a religious man. I wish I were. I'm not. لكن أنا شايف فينا lack of reconciliation between the theoretical framework and the idea of feminism and post-colonial discourse and the idea of religion. polygamy دي سنة. أنا شخصيا I don't do it. I cannot practice it. لكن دي سنة. بس أكمل كلام. أنت اتكلمت أتكلم أنا بقى. بص يا إيمان، دي سنة عن النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. ولا بص يا إيمان، أنا مثلا ما بصليش الركعات كلها لكن بحس إن أنا مذنب. بصلي 3 من 5 الكلام ده كده. أحيانا أصلي اليوم كله لكن بقول لك أنا مذنب وأنا غلطان. لكن لما أجي أقول لأ إيه الصلاة إيه يا عمي يبقى ده كفر. فمعيش أعمل حاجة بقى يعني مش هتقلل من عملك بس خديني أدعك في السن ده. فهنا كان في برضه lack of reconciliation between what feminism says, what post-colonialism says, and the true heart of Islam. You know, you are dealing with things here as if you were with those people against Islam. Islam is like this. We should accept it the way it is. Okay? بس أنا شكرا. لكن بغض النظر your work is wonderful. You are hard worker. في حاجة بسيطة نفسي والله تعمليها لو تقعدي كده أسبوع دايما أقول للطلبة بتوعي الباراجراف 3 صفحات ده نقسم حاجات الجرامر وفي حاجات أكتر مش عايز أقولها يعني عشان نمشي. لكن on the whole دايما بنقول النقد سهل جدا. أنا أقدر أخد الرسالة دي أنقدها في 3 دقايق. لكن أكتب زيها ما أعرفش. ما هو الكتابة صعبة جدا. عشان كده في أمريكا كان أساتذتي في أمريكا يقولوا لي writing is like labor. You know what labor is for a woman when she gives birth. writing is النقد سهل جدا. فلكن on the whole كده طبعا ربنا يجازيكم كل خير وأنتم كويسة جدا وأتمنى لكم كل التوفيق. وارجع بقى للبروفيسور مرة تانية.
Thank you, Professor Lim, for this thorough, valuable examination of the candidate. And I used to advise Iman to sound more objective, especially dealing with religious issues. Don't make the others' opinions your own. When you want to report something, you have to say it is believed, it is thought. Okay, and you mentioned the reference. Don't make it your own saying. Because I mean, you have to escape this. Personal expression. Yes. I mean, especially with some sensitive issues like religion. I mean, make the reader feel that this is not your own. you're just reporting or describing or analyzing an issue. Okay. They also advised you before to divide the paragraphs. But you seem to be very generous in your paragraphs. You make a very long paragraph, some pages. You need to reconsider this division to try to be more organized, to divide your ideas and to connect your ideas. Okay, now I will call upon Professor Sabri, your supervisor, to give his word. Okay. I'd like to say one more remark, one important remark about the scholars tackling such post-colonial and colonial issues. We have to make a distinction between imperialism and colonialism, because the word colonialism, post-colonialism, the word is misused by the Western scholars who try to escape or to try to deny the crimes of imperialism, and they try to hide these crimes by the misuse of the word colonialism. You know the difference between the two terms?
Yes. Colonialism means the control of one country by another country only to extend its power. But colonialism means the control of one country by another only to benefit from its resources.
Well, can you have any source of or any sort of colonialism without imperialism? I mean, can you colonize another people, another country without overpowering them militarily? Mm-hmm. So colonialism comes as a result of imperialism. It can't work without imperialism.
Amelioration.
Yes, you can't welcome the people who come to occupy your land and to call them colonizers, just colonizers. What about the oppression? What about the crimes? What about human rights, the violation of human rights? So we have to reconsider the use or the misuse of colonialism and imperialism. And because our outlook, our view of colonialism has to change, because we suffered the oppression of the colonizers. Most of the Arab countries and the Middle Eastern and Far Eastern countries suffered the occupation and the consequences of what's called colonialism. So for us it is imperialism, for them it is colonialism. They feel offended to use the word imperialism because it reminds them of the crimes against humanity and the consequences of these crimes, that the price they have to pay to the occupied countries. You see what I mean? So I think our scholars, Oriental scholars, should give special concern to the misuse of this term. We shouldn't feel shy to use imperialism, because it is really imperial. You see what I mean? We come to an end of your discussion. Thank you for this valuable thesis. I wish you the best of luck with your PhD, inshallah. And I'd like to thank the great professors, our guest scholars who honored us with their presence, Professor Al-Kahky, Professor Nim, Professor Sabri. I'd like to thank Dr. Hani for attending this session as a representative of the department. I'd like to thank you all. Thank you for being a great audience. بعد إذن حضراتكم هنخلي قاعة 5 دقائق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اجتمعت اللجنة في تمام الساعة 12 ظهرا يوم الأحد الموافق 14/6 مشكلة من الأستاذ الدكتور محمد سعيد نجم، الأستاذ بكلية الآداب رئيسا، الدكتور أحمد محمد عادل الكحكي، الأستاذ المساعد بقسم اللغة الإنجليزية بكلية الآداب جامعة دمياط عضوا خارجيا، الدكتور صبري سعد الشيشة أستاذ مساعد بقسم اللغة الإنجليزية بكلية التربية جامعة طنطا مشرفا وعضوا، الدكتور معتز السروجي أستاذ مساعد وقائم بأعمال رئيس قسم كلية الآداب بجامعة طنطا مشرفا وعضوا. وذلك لمناقشة الطالبة إيمان رأفت إبراهيم محمد حلاوه في الرسالة المقدمة منها لنيل درجة الماجستير في الآداب من قسم اللغة الإنجليزية وآدابها، وموضوعها النسوية ما بعد الاستعمارية في رواية خالد حسيني ألف شمس ساطعة ورواية شامندة أديتشي الكركديه الهرمزي. وبعد المناقشة علنا بقاعة المناقشات بالكلية والاطلاع على لوائح الكلية الخاصة بمنح درجة الماجستير، وبعد المداولة قررت اللجنة أن الطالبة إيمان، رأفت، إبراهيم، محمد، حلاوه تستحق أن تمنح درجة الماجستير في الآداب من قسم اللغة الإنجليزية وآدابها بتقدير ممتاز.